All right, this is the last week of the first quarter. Week 9, lesson 1. You've already seen this parent graph, but this lesson is actually more on domain and range. So let's go ahead and fill this in. So if I'm trying to fill in this XY chart for this and I plug in 0 and take the square root, I get 0. And if I take the square root of 1 and the square root of 4 and the square root of 9 and the square root of 16, then I can go ahead and graph this. And I have that ordered pair and that ordered pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And so from this picture, you can see that the domain, right, the smallest x value I can have is a 0, and this goes on forever. And the smallest y value that I can have is 0, and this will keep going up, although I know it seems to be a lot slower, but forever. All right, so this is, again, the parent graph with its domain and range. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting. You, without necessarily graphing, or I mean, if you have your graphing calculator, you could confirm, but I just want you to sort of think about, what does this look like compared to the original? Right, and it's been moved to the right 4 units. So it looks sort of like that, right, where this is a 4. All right, so as far as the domain and the range, the domain, it doesn't end at 0 anymore. Now it ends at 4, but it still goes on to infinity. And the range hasn't moved up or down, so the range hasn't changed at all. Okay, now for B, this plus 2 that's on the outside actually means that this has moved up 2. So it looks something like this. Okay, so in this situation, because it moved up and down, the domain hasn't changed from the original, but the range has. All right, so that's kind of the point of this whole lesson, is just figuring out, like, what does this look like? And again, notice that my pictures there, I don't have graph paper. They're not great. I'm not using my graphing calculator. I'm just thinking about, what does this thing look like? So for C, this thing has been moved to the left 2 and up 3. Left 2 and up 3. So again, not the best picture in the world, just enough for me to be able to say that the domain is from -2 to infinity, and that the range is from 3 to infinity. Okay, now this one kind of depends on you remembering a lesson from last week. Because of the negative right in front of this x, this has been reflected, but over the y, all right, and it's been moved to the right 3. So it looks something like that. All right. Again, no graph paper or anything, just sort of a general sketch. But the domain now, this goes from -infinity and it tops out right here at 3. And the range goes from 0 to positive infinity. Okay, let's see. So for E, let's see, what would make this equal, what would make this equal 0 would be 6/5. All right, which means it's been moved to the right 6/5. Okay, so that point right there is its end point. That's 6/5. It goes on to infinity, and the range has not changed. All right, this one, okay, so there's a negative in front, so this is reflected over the x, and it's been moved up 3. Okay, so hold on, let me think about this. Reflected over the x and up 3. So it kind of does that, which means I have a domain of 0 to infinity and a range from -infinity all the way up to 3. Right? Think about this. This keeps going down, 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 down with a top out point right here of 3. All right? And then this very last one, this has a lot of stuff going on. All right? It's been moved, let me think about this, right 1/2, because that's what makes this equal 0. It's been reflected over the y because of that negative. It's been reflected over the x because of that negative. And it's been moved down 7 because of this -7. Okay, which means, and again, you might have to do this sort of step by step, piece by piece, but it's somewhere down right here. Okay, with a domain going from negative infinity to 1/2. All right, because it's been moved to the right 1/2. And a range of negative infinity up to -7, right? Because down 7 means that's as high as it ends up going.